shot and killed after a deadly fight erupted in front of Monaco Hookah Lounge. Two men approached King Von and his group in the parking lot, and an argument ensued. The argument quickly escalating to a shootout between the two groups.
Hold on to your seats because the internet has just unearthed a ghost, a digital echo from the past that changes how we see the final days of a rap icon. A recently surfaced, incredibly rare Instagram live session, whispered to be the absolute last public interaction between Chicago legends Lil Durk and King Von before tragedy struck, has exploded online. This isn't just another video, it's a raw, unfiltered window into their brotherhood, captured moments before the darkness fell. Prepare to witness the laughter, the loyalty, the unspoken energy between two titans, now viewed through the haunting lens of what came next. This leak doesn't just show us Durk and Von, it forces us to feel the weight of their bond and the crushing reality of its end. The relationship between Lil Durk and King Von wasn't merely a music industry alliance, it was forged in the harsh realities of Chicago's South Side, specifically the crucible of O-Block Parkway Garden homes. Their connection ran deeper than collaborations and shared stages. It was a brotherhood cemented by shared experiences, mutual respect, and an unshakable loyalty that became a cornerstone of the Only the Family OTF collective. Durk, already an established figure who had navigated the treacherous path from Chicago, drill pioneer to mainstream recognition, played a pivotal role in Von's ascent. Recognizing the raw talent and magnetic storytelling ability in the younger artist, Durk took Von under his wing, providing not just features and cosigns, but crucial guidance and a platform. He saw the potential, the fire that mirrored his own journey, and invested in bringing Von's voice to the world. Their bond was visible in their interactions, a mix of mentorly respect from Von and protective camaraderie from Durk. They moved as a unit, representing a powerful faction within the complex tapestry of Chicago rap. Tracks like All These Nas showcase their seamless chemistry, their back and forth reflecting a genuine understanding and shared energy. Public appearances, interviews, and casual social media posts consistently reinforced this image of unity and brotherhood. They were more than label mates. They were family, bound by the unwritten codes of the environment that shaped them. This deep connection is precisely why the emergence of any footage capturing their dynamic, especially one purported to be their final public exchange, carries such immense emotional weight and significance for fans and observers of the culture. Their story was one of shared struggle, shared success, and ultimately shared tragedy, with Durk left to carry the torch and navigate the profound loss of his close friend and protege. Understanding the depth of this bond is essential to grasp.
They knew what type of animal he was before he got out of jail. Like, they know, like, this dude is a killing, you know, and they wanted to be around him. Von got the streets. Durk ain't got the streets. Von got the streets. They called him grandson. People thinking he King David grandson, you know, but the whole time it was an old guy who gave him that name, grandson. So he had all the streets, and then he got all the real members behind Von. Like, all the real, Durk paying for friends. That's how I look at it. Durk paying for friends, man. All them guys with Durk, they paying. Everybody who Durk had with him, they end up being back in Chicago, and they saying bad things about him. Or they saying that he weak and he this and that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he buying people. But Von, he ain't have to buy no people because people really know. Like, if he say he gonna do something to you, he really gonna do it. Durk could say nobody, oh man, get yourself, you know. But Von, they gonna be like, oh yeah, I gotta watch out for him. Von said he gonna kill me. You know, he was scared of him. They was scared of Von, man. And that was their downfall and destruction. Cause him.
The impact of seeing them together one alleged last time. It wasn't just two rappers chopping it up. It was a glimpse into the heart of OTF, a snapshot of a brotherhood that defined an era in Chicago drill. In the modern landscape of music and celebrity, Instagram Live has become a unique and powerful tool. It offers artists an unfiltered, real-time channel to connect directly with their fan base, bypassing traditional media gatekeepers. It's a space for casual conversation, impromptu performances, Q&A sessions, and showcasing personality beyond the curated image often presented in music videos or press releases. These live sessions foster a sense of intimacy and immediacy, making fans feel like they're getting a privileged peek behind the curtain. For artists like Durk and Von, deeply rooted in a culture where authenticity and direct communication are prized, IG Live served as a vital way to maintain their connection to the streets and their core audience. Even as their fame grew, it was a platform to address rumors, share updates, celebrate wins, or simply hang out digitally with their supporters. Therefore, when a previously unseen or archived live session surfaces, especially one involving figures as significant and closely linked as Durk and Von and labeled as their last, it inherently carries a different weight. It transforms from a potentially ephemeral moment into a historical artifact, a poignant fragment of time captured before everything changed. The leak aspect adds another layer of intrigue, suggesting something perhaps not intended for wide public consumption, adding to the feeling of accessing a raw, unguarded moment. While the specific verifiable content of this allegedly leaked final live session isn't publicly confirmed or universally available, its reported emergence and subsequent viral spread allow us to contemplate what such a moment might have contained and why it resonates so powerfully. Given the timing, likely shortly before Von's fatal trip to Atlanta in early November 2020, the conversation could easily have revolved around the triumphant release of Von's debut studio album, Welcome to O Block, which had dropped just a week prior. We can imagine the energy Von buzzing with the confidence of a major artistic milestone achieved, perhaps boasting in his characteristically charismatic way, detailing the album's themes, and soaking in the initial positive reception. Durk, the proud mentor and brother figure, likely offered congratulations, reflecting on Von's journey from prison to the precipice of stardom. Their conversation might have touched upon future plans, potential collaborations, upcoming shows, aspirations for further solidifying OTF's dominance in the music scene. Knowing Von's personality, gleaned from
got the money, and like out of this the only thing I was surprised at with this Durk situation, Vlad. Like when they brought up the five guys on the screen, I didn't think Diddy would be there with him, cause that's Durk's friend. So I definitely didn't think he was gonna be there. But I thought it would be like some people we seeing in these videos waving guns around and jumping around like monkeys. It wasn't none of them. It all KFC workers, man, the janitors and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, he went to the space station to go and get the guy with the glasses and shit. Like, I'm disappointed in Durk, man. I'm disappointed in Durk, and he did it, y'all. So y'all get in the comments, he did it, not us. He did the shit. He went on the plane. He got all the millions. You wouldn't do this shit when you was broke. Don't do it when you get some money, man.
So what exactly is Durk's criminal record? Because I remember I was talking to someone about this, and we were kind of going back and forth. I mean, was Durk really in the streets, and was he really putting in work before he became a successful rapper?
I mean, he was like Durk could do shit.
Countless interviews and his music, his comments during such a live would likely be animated, filled with street parables, sharp wit, and declarations of loyalty to his O-Block roots and his OTF family. He might have recounted recent experiences, shared anecdotes with the raw narrative flair that defined his music, perhaps laughing and joking with Durk, showcasing the easy camaraderie. Born of shared history, the hypothetical live could have been a moment of pure celebration, a snapshot of two friends at the height of their powers, looking towards a bright future, or viewed through the tragic lens of hindsight. Perhaps there were subtler undercurrents, the casual mentions of navigating dangerous environments, the inherent awareness of risk that permeates their world, fleeting moments that now seem like ominous foreshadowing. Regardless of the specific words exchanged, the power of the leaked live lies in its perceived authenticity. It likely captured them relaxed, perhaps less guarded than informal interviews, showcasing the nuances of their relationship, the mutual respect, the shared humor, the unspoken understanding. It's this glimpse of normalcy, of brotherhood in an everyday digital interaction, juxtaposed against the imminent tragedy that fuels its viral status. It allows fans to connect with Von not just as the fearsome storyteller of Crazy Story, but as Davon Bennett, chilling with his friend Durk. It offers a humanizing portrait, making the loss feel more personal and profound. The virality stems from this emotional resonance, the collective desire to grasp onto final moments, to analyze expressions for hidden meanings, and to simply witness one more time the dynamic duo together before one was lost forever. The label "last" attached to any interaction carries an almost unbearable weight, transforming the mundane into the profound. When applied to this purported final Instagram live between Lil Durk and King Von, it imbues every frame, every word, every shared laugh with a haunting significance. What might have been A routine check-in, a casual moment shared with thousands of unseen followers, is retroactively cast as a farewell, albeit an unconscious one. Viewers scrutinize their expressions. Was that a fleeting look of concern? Was that laugh tinged with weariness? Did Von's characteristic confidence carry a hint of vulnerability? Did Durk's demeanor betray any premonition? Of course, assigning such meaning after the fact is purely projection, born from the knowledge of the tragedy that loomed just days away. Yet the human impulse to search for signs, for closure, for some understanding in the face of senseless loss is powerful. This last live becomes a focal point for
by signing, by getting, like, bringing him around the whole thing, bro. Some people you can't show the lavish life to. You just gotta leave in the hood and probably give him some pounds of weed or whatever you gotta do, man, to keep cool with him. But you can't go on this. You can't go with us, you know.
So you think that Von's energy? Well, yeah. I mean, you could trace the situation back to Von, obviously. So Von being in his vicinity ultimately led him to his demise.
Yep. Cause they couldn't tell Von no. They scared of him. They can't. You can't tell Von nothing. Anybody who you interview and you ask them that, if they say that no, you can't tell Von nothing, if they don't say that, they lying. You can't tell Von nothing. Like nothing, bro.
Well, the fact that Von was gone and he still was running the show in a way is kind of crazy.
Yeah. Cause the street's still with him. The street still want to get back for Von. They want to get back. And you in the power to be around these dudes, you got
grief and remembrance. It forces a confrontation with mortality, a theme omnipresent in both artists' music and the environment they navigated. Their lyrics often spoke of the fragility of life on the streets, the constant presence of danger, and the suddenness with which everything could change. Seeing them interact, seemingly unaware of the imminent future, underscores this brutal reality in a deeply personal way. It highlights the thin veil between success and survival, fame and fatality. The conversation, whatever its actual content, is now heard through an echo chamber of loss. Jokes land differently, plans sound poignant. Expressions of loyalty become testaments frozen in time. The significance lies not just in what was said, but in the crushing silence that followed, amplifying the value of this final recorded moment of connection. It serves as a stark reminder that even for those who project invincibility, life remains incredibly precarious and final moments often arrive unannounced. Connecting this intimate glimpse of Durk and Von's brotherhood, captured in the casual setting of an Instagram live, to the brutal, chaotic violence that ended Von's life, only days later, creates a jarring and deeply unsettling contrast. The live represents life, potential, connection, shared ambition, and the everyday normalcy that exists even amidst extraordinary circumstances. It showcases the human beings behind the hardened personas. Friends laughing, talking about music, perhaps discussing mundane things alongside their dreams. Then comes the stark reality of the Monaco Hookah Lounge parking lot, the argument, the flash of violence, the irreversible consequences. The juxtaposition is brutal. Seeing Von relaxed and animated on live, full of life and celebrating a career milestone, makes the images and reports from his final moments, the confrontation, the shooting, the desperate rush to the hospital, even more heartbreaking. It strips away the abstract nature of news reports and forces a confrontation with the human cost. This contrast can also inadvertently fuel the speculation and alternative theories that continue to swirl around Von's death. Some might watch the live searching for clues, for hints of tension, or foreshadowing that align with narratives of betrayal or setups. Even if none objectively exist, the perceived closeness and loyalty displayed in the live might for some make theories of internal conflict seem even more shocking or conversely less plausible. However, for most viewers, the primary effect is likely one of profound sadness. It underscores the tragedy of potential cut short, the waste of a young life extinguished just as it reached a new peak.
That after Tim shoots up Von, like that's happened, that's done and over with. Slutty and Louis try and execute Tim on the ground. You can see the gun jams, they're not getting anything out of it. They then run around the SUV, but as they get around the other side of the SUV, you can see two cops get out of that car and start shooting at Slutty and Louis who are running past them. So it's clear to me that Tim was the one that shot up Von, because that happens before the police thing pops off, right? And the police only really activate themselves after shots start firing. Like once Tim's shots are fired, like Tim gets hit and then he falls to the ground and they're trying to kill Tim. You know, like if you slow it down and you look at the right parts, like I could point it out, but it's like
peak. It reinforces the narrative of Von as someone navigating the complexities of newfound fame while still entangled in the dangers of the world he came from. The last live serves as the before picture, making the after, the violence, the loss, the ongoing repercussions feel significantly more acute and devastating. The phenomenon of leaked content, especially intimate or previously archived moments involving beloved or controversial figures, speaks volumes about contemporary online culture and the nature of digital memory. Why does footage like this alleged last live surface years after the fact? The sources can be varied. Old phones being accessed, archives being revisited by former associates, or sometimes deliberate leaks intended to stir discussion or gain clout. Regardless of the origin, its emergence taps directly into a powerful current of fan curiosity and the collective desire to piece together the narratives of figures they feel connected to. In the digital age, almost nothing truly disappears, and these fragments of the past can resurface unexpectedly, reigniting conversations and emotions. The virality of such content is driven by multiple factors. There's the inherent intrigue of the forbidden or the rare. There's the emotional pull, particularly when the footage involves someone who has passed away tragically, offering a chance to see them again. There's also the interactive nature of online platforms where fans can dissect the footage, share clips, debate its meaning, and collectively participate in constructing the ongoing narrative around the artist. This collective analysis, speculation, and emotional outpouring fuel the viral spread across platforms like TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. However, the circulation of such material also raises ethical questions. Was this moment intended to be public property indefinitely? Does sharing it respect the privacy of the individuals involved, especially in the context of grief and loss? While fans may feel a sense of entitlement to any content related to their favorite artists, the line between remembrance and intrusion can be blurry. Yet in the fast-moving, content-hungry ecosystem of the internet, these ethical considerations often take a back seat to the sheer compelling nature of the footage itself, especially when it promises a final poignant glimpse of a figure like King Von alongside his closest confidant, Lil Durk. As we reflect on this purported last live, it's essential to weave it back into the larger tapestry of King Von's story and the ongoing narrative of Lil Durk and OTF. This glimpse of their bond reinforces the central themes that have defined their journeys: the loyalty, the brotherhood, the shared Chicago O-Block origins.
Right.
Well, what parts of the body?
I get shot in my right hip bone, and I get shot on my ass. It go in and out though.
Okay, so this is now the second time you've gotten shot.
Yeah, that's the second time I done got shot.
Are you more calm about it this time since you've gone through it before?
Yeah, because like the first time I got shot, I didn't have a panic attack. I was calm. So it's like this time, I knew like do the same thing.
These were not just marketing points. They were fundamental truths of their relationship, seemingly evident even in casual conversation. The live viewed now serves as another poignant reminder of the ever-present dangers lurking beneath the surface of fame and success in their world. Even in moments of celebration, the awareness of potential conflict, the need for vigilance, was likely an unspoken reality. The tragedy that followed underscores this harsh truth. For Lil Durk, the footage is a reminder of the profound personal loss he endured, a loss that has deeply informed his music and public persona ever since. His subsequent work often grapples with themes of grief, survival, loyalty, and the immense pressure of carrying the legacy of fallen friends. Most notably, the emergence of this live serves to highlight the weight he carries. Furthermore, it connects to Von's enduring posthumous legacy, even as his team prepares to release more of his vast archive of unreleased music, keeping his artistic voice alive, including the anticipated album release this month, April 2025. These personal glimpses remind us of the man behind the music. They add depth and context to the stories he told, making his continued presence in the genre feel both powerful and poignant. The ongoing tensions, such as the simmering conflict with NBA YoungBoy's 4KT camp and Durk's own navigation of the industry and legal challenges, are also part of the backdrop against which this last live is viewed. It represents a moment before further escalations, before deeper losses, adding another layer to the complex ongoing saga of OTF and the figures associated with it. It's a snapshot of a specific moment, but it resonates with the past, present, and future of all involved. The intense reaction to this leaked footage years after King Von's passing demonstrates the enduring power of his story and the deep connection fans felt, and still feel, towards him and his bond with Lil Durk. It speaks to a desire not just to hear the music, but to understand the person, the relationships, and the world they inhabited. This alleged last live offers a tantalizing, albeit potentially fragmented and context-dependent, glimpse into that world, capturing a moment of connection before the abrupt and violent end. It fuels the ongoing discussion about his life, his death, and the complex legacy he left behind. A legacy built on raw storytelling, undeniable charisma, and the tragic reality of a life cut short. The story of King Von, Lil Durk, OTF, and the world they navigate is constantly unfolding, with new music, emerging narratives, and unearthed moments like this, adding layers to our understanding. If you find these stories
And like stay calm and just make sure I get to the hospital.
Okay, so a shootout now happens. And a lot of people are starting to get hit. So King Von had a guy named Slutty. He gets killed by the police. King Von's manager, 100K, Track.
is compelling if you want to stay informed about the latest developments, analyze the cultural impact, and explore the real lives behind the music. Then make sure you become part of this community. Hit that subscribe button on the channel, ring the notification bell, and join the conversation. We'll keep digging deeper, bringing you the context and analysis you need. Don't miss out. Subscribe now. The energy captured in that alleged last Instagram live between Durk and Von, a moment seemingly brimming with potential and celebrating the release of Welcome to O Block, stands in stark, poignant contrast to the silence that followed his death. Yet Von's voice, his stories, and his impact were far too potent to be extinguished entirely. His musical legacy began a new chapter, one managed carefully by those dedicated to preserving his art. It became widely known that Von, despite his relatively short career, had been incredibly prolific, leaving behind a staggering archive estimated at over 300 unreleased songs. This wasn't just a handful of leftover tracks. It was a deep well of creativity, a testament to his relentless work ethic and the seemingly endless stream of narratives he needed to share. His team, including his manager and label, faced the complex and emotional task of navigating this vault. Releasing music posthumously is a delicate balancing act, staying true to the artist's vision, satisfying an eager fan base hungry for more, and managing the business aspects without appearing exploitative. The strategy employed was one of gradual, curated releases. Projects like What It Means to Be King, dropped in 2022, served as powerful reminders of his talent, debuting high on the charts and proving the sustained demand for his music. These tracks weren't mere echoes. They were vibrant additions to his canon, showcasing different facets of his artistry and allowing fans to continue engaging with his evolution even after his passing. The sheer volume of unreleased material meant his presence could continue to be felt authentically within the genre for years to come. This meticulous curation has led us to this very moment, April 2025, with the arrival of a new, highly anticipated album compiled from this rich archive. The release reaffirms his undiminished influence, demonstrating how his unique blend of menacing realism and intricate storytelling continues to resonate deeply. Hearing these new songs is a bittersweet experience for listeners, a thrill mixed with sorrow, a fresh encounter with a voice they thought they knew completely, yet one that still holds surprises, underscoring the immense talent and potential that was lost. The posthumous catalog ensures King Von remains not just a memory, but an active participant.
Gonna do another one. Whereas, like, if you do your first boxing match and you get brutally knocked out and you get a concussion, and then you do another one and you get knocked out, you're probably gonna be like, oh, fuck this. He fucking started killing people.
And got away with it.
And got away with it. Felt like it was easy as fuck. I don't know if he was necessarily like mega talented at it or if he just got lucky, but then he decided, fuck it, I'm gonna keep going. You know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of like when they talk about like ISIS and shit, but there'll be certain people in ISIS who like really believe this.
Participant in the ongoing conversation of hip-hop. However, the wake of King Von's death was not solely defined by musical remembrance and the careful curation of his legacy. His absence created a vacuum and simultaneously ignited festering wounds within the notoriously volatile landscape of rap rivalries, the brotherhood, and loyalty exemplified in his relationship with Lil Durk and the OTF collective stood in sharp sharp contrast to the escalating hostilities with opposing factions, particularly the bitter and increasingly dangerous feud between OTF and NBA YoungBoy's Never Broke Again 4KT crew associated with Quando Rondo and Timothy Leeks. Von's killing acted as an accelerant on this already blazing fire, the digital battlefield. Erupted with unprecedented intensity, diss tracks became more pointed, more personal, laden with threats that blurred the line between lyrical warfare and genuine incitement. Social media platforms became arenas for veiled and sometimes overt promises of retribution. This public animosity wasn't confined to the internet. It tragically spilled over into real-world violence with devastating consequences. One of the most harrowing examples was the widely reported murder of Quando Rondo's affiliate and cousin, known as Pab, Marvin Simmons, in 2022. While official motives remain subjects of investigation and legal processes, street chatter and online commentary immediately framed the killing as direct retaliation for King Von's death, further entrenching the cycle of violence. This incident, among others reflecting the heightened tensions, drew intense scrutiny from law enforcement agencies increasingly concerned about the connection between rap beefs and street crime. Lil Durk, as the figurehead of OTF and Von's close associate, found himself under a microscope, facing immense pressure and significant legal challenges. Reports surfaced and persisted regarding federal investigations and charges potentially linking him or his associates to incidents allegedly tied to this ongoing conflict. Navigating these serious legal battles has become a major aspect of Durk's narrative in recent years, casting a somber shadow over his musical successes as of April 2025. This escalating beef serves as a grim reminder of how personal loyalties, territorial disputes, and the pursuit of street credibility, amplified by Von's death, can lead to irreversible tragedy, forever intertwining musical legacies with real-world loss and legal repercussions. The unity seen in The Last Live became a symbol of what was lost, while the ensuing conflict represented the destructive forces unleashed in its aftermath. Amidst the official investigation, the subsequent dropping of charges against Timothy...
You have certain people who, like, they're part of it because they want to be down, but they don't really want to kill people.
Yeah.
He seems like, no, he got the game plan
Suicide
for gang
bomber.
banging, and he said, oh, nah, like, I'm gonna, like, it's like a religious person who follows the Bible 100% versus a religious person who's just kind of like, yeah, I believe in this, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
he fucking took the gang war so literally.
That motherfucker right there was crazy. Yeah, that motherfucker was top.
Timothy Leeks, and the stark reality of the escalating OTF-4KT conflict, another layer of complexity was added by the relentless churn of the internet speculation machine. The digital sphere became inundated with a torrent of alternative theories surrounding King Von's death, each seeking to provide a different explanation beyond the accepted narrative of a parking lot confrontation turned fatal. These theories, often fueled by grief, mistrust, or the desire for a more sensational story, proliferated wildly within online communities, finding fertile ground on social media platforms, forums, and video comment sections. Some suggested the entire incident was not spontaneous, but a carefully orchestrated setup, a premeditated trap designed to eliminate Von, though the alleged architects and motives behind such plots varied wildly depending on the source. Perhaps most disturbingly, some of these unsubstantiated theories pointed fingers internally, casting suspicion on those supposedly closest to Von or Whispers. And outright accusations, completely lacking credible evidence, suggested a possible betrayal by Lil Durk himself, often citing baseless claims of jealousy over Von's meteoric rise as a potential motive. The apparent closeness and brotherhood displayed in interactions like the purported last live made such theories seem counterintuitive and offensive to many, yet they persisted in certain corners of the internet, highlighting the toxic potential of online rumor mills. Another significant alternative narrative gained considerable traction following public statements made by rapper Asian Doll, who was romantically linked with Von. She controversially claimed that the fatal shots might not have originated from Lil Tim's firearm, but could have been fired by responding police officers during the chaotic crossfire that erupted outside the Monaco Hookah Lounge. While official reports and the focus of the initial legal case centered squarely on Leeks, Asian Doll's assertions provided provided fuel for those questioning the official account and suspecting a cover-up or mishandling of the situation by authorities. It is absolutely crucial to reiterate that these alternative theories, encompassing premeditated setups, alleged betrayals, or alternative shooters, remain entirely unconfirmed and unsubstantiated by any official findings or verifiable evidence presented during the investigation. They thrive in the online ecosystem due to a confluence of factors: a general mistrust of authority, the echo chamber effect of social media algorithms, the intense emotional investment of fans seeking answers, and the simple appeal of conspiracy narratives in explaining complex and traumatic events. These theories form a persistent, often confusing counter-narrative to the established facts.
At a certain age, and that's how he learned how to deal with his pain. And then he from O Block. You get what I'm saying? So, like, from what I've seen, this is just, I don't know him. So, because I don't want motherfuckers like, oh, yeah, you hear Brick because he OTF and all that shit. So, the whole shit is, he went through some hurt. He started smashing shit, learned how to smash shit, and every day,
demonstrating the power of online speculation to shape perception in the aftermath of tragedy. Ultimately, understanding King Von, his impact, and the circumstances of his death requires zooming out to view his entire life story, a narrative arc, defined by both profound hardship and incredible artistic redemption, culminating in tragedy. His journey was a microcosm of the struggles faced by many young black men in marginalized urban communities. He navigated a path marked by early encounters with the justice system, including significant periods of incarceration for serious charges which he ultimately overcame. His time spent behind bars, however, wasn't just a detour. It became part of the raw material for his art, informing the vivid, unflinching realism that would define his music. Upon his release, he poured his energy into rapping, finding a powerful outlet for his experiences and a potential pathway out of the cycle of violence that defined his environment. His rise to rap stardom was remarkably swift, driven by his undeniable talent for storytelling and the authentic connection he forged with listeners who saw their own realities reflected in his lyrics. He was, in many ways, actively working to transcend his past, focusing on his craft, achieving legitimate success, and embracing the role of a provider for his family. He represented the dream of making it out, of turning struggle into art, of finding redemption through talent and hard work. Yet his death at just 26 years old serves as a brutal reminder of how deeply embedded violence remains within certain subcultures, and how difficult it truly is to sever ties completely with the dangers of one's origins, even amidst fame and fortune. The incident outside the Monaco Lounge highlighted the precariousness of his position, caught between the world of celebrity and the unwritten codes of the street. His death robbed hip-hop of one of its most compelling and authentic contemporary storytellers, but it also sparked vital, ongoing, industry-wide conversations. It forced uncomfortable discussions about the nature of loyalty, the pressures artists face, the responsibilities associated with portraying street life, and the very definition of survival in a world where success doesn't guarantee safety. King Von's legacy is thus multifaceted. He is remembered for his incredible talent, his contribution to drill music, his role as an icon of O Block, but also as a potent symbol of unresolved societal issues and the heartbreaking fragility of life for those trying to navigate the treacherous path from the streets to stardom. The image of him in that last live, seemingly on top of the world, makes this tragic dimension of his legacy all the more poignant.